Test, test. 1, 2, test. So, oh, thank you. Appreciate you. That's sick. So as the referees are coming on the ice, John Hunter with you alongside the Waterford Sharks and the Michigan Shadow in the red rink. Again, I'm going to have the host call here for the Sharks. It's the last of the 5-game homestand, and things could get a little bit interesting if the Sharks do not win this game today, because that would create a 3-way tie in the MIHL South. Right now the Sharks are 5-1, the Michigan Shadow are 4-2. This is essentially the makeup game that was supposed to be at the beginning of the season in Waterford in the red rink now. We're going to play this one. The Sharks and Shadow are going to have a back-to-back tomorrow. They'll be the only teams that will have one. The Sharks will play the Warhawks tomorrow. But if they can find a way to get this win today, all likelihood they're going to still be able to keep their lead in the MIHL South. If not, things will get very interesting. So as far as the game-ready roster, I have that for the Waterford Sharks. Your forwards, Cole Hogemo, Zach Molkowski, Nolan Baldrika, Brendan Sherwock, Kieran Carwell, Jared Pfeiffer, Alex Sharp, Hunter Keppel, Michael Redmond, Andrew Polosha, Justin McComas. On D, it's Theo Goody, Chris Martin, Chris Donaldson. Joseph Gibbs is supposed to be making his debut today. We'll see if I see number 25 out there. Jared Siegel, Spencer Bowman on the forward side if you needed it, and Brendan Pfeiffer, the captain. C, Spencer Bowman, Jacob Gilliam, and Ian Morton, 31 of 49, will still start and back each other up. We'll see who gets the nod today. Bryn Sommerfeld is probably going to start for the Shadow, but I do see Brandon Sarter, number 30, back there right now, which is a surprise for me because Sommerfeld has been ridiculous since he's joined the Shadow. We'll see if everyone else has made the trip over. Theodore Ruel, Tim Schmidt, Sam Gagnon, James Riersi, Josh Vermeech, Sean Peelet, Zexel Kanitz, Matthias Tellstrom, number 14. He's one of the new additions. Jamison Mayim, Paul Arnott, look for Micah. The former Shark is now a member of the Shadow Defense. Michael Clintworth, Cody Oakes, Mike Baker, Michael Perry, and Daniel Manns will wear number 40. And you got Sarter and Sommerfeld in the crease. We're going to pause for the anthems and we'll get into the play-by-play.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lakeland Arena for tonight's matchup between the Waterford Sharks and the Michigan Shadow. Starting for your Shadow, we have number 14, Tellstrom. Number 73, Rotondi. Number 72, Zucanix. Number 6, Milan. Number 23, Baker. And in net, number 30, Brandon Sartor. And for your Waterford Sharks, number 61, Andrew Polosha. Number 16, Kieran Carlisle. Number 13, Nolan Baldrika. Number 25, Joe Gibbs. Number 4, Chris Donaldson. And in net, number 31, Jacob Willem. Please rise for the national anthem.
So we got a good crowd on hand here in the red rink at Lakeland Arena. John, I'm here with you on the call. Again, this is a battle for first place, if not for a tie in the mix at the Shadow. Get this one. So the Sharks, really it's about just win tonight. When we go all the way across the lineup as we did, again, Joe Gibbs, we do get the confirmation, number 25. And if you notice for the Waterford Sharks, again, the Shark logo, this is their third jersey, has the look of the San Jose Sharks. And then you have the orange, white, and black as part of the striping with the boomer on the side of it. It's the first time that they've worn it this year. Joe Gibbs making his season debut for the Sharks, so this should be a lot of fun. Again, this was an eager matchup that was supposed to be week 1 of the MIHL season. We are going to get it now. Sharks last time out, they were able to beat the Shadow in the first meeting over there, 10-8, score 4 unanswered in the third. And now we are underway as Donaldson will make this outstretched pass. Polosha right up the gut, got Carlisle behind him now as this one gets blocked away. We got a lot of stuff in behind us as well. I think a lot of Shadow crowd behind us as this one just goes just wide, back and behind the end boards. The Shadow, as Rierse has it now back and behind his own net. Will make an outlet pass. They have the red pants with the white jersey, the red numbers, and the black on top as this is battled out in front. A good stick in the lane here for the Sharks. A little outstretch there for Polosha. Try to get this one on the wing with a long shot and be solved by Sarter. And we get a stoppage. Again, we will see tomorrow's matchup when we get to it at 7:30, but that one was interesting because the Warhawks lost 11-8. They played their best game of the season against the Sharks. Sharks find a way to split. They'll stay exactly where they were anyway, but this is the most important. You think both of these teams are going to be on. And when we get another stoppage, I'll give you another note as far as the broadcast preparations, as this one is picked up in the lane across center ice. Rierse will watch this one go for icing. They're going to say the Sharks got there first. So what I was going to mention for the Shadow, I know Frank usually gets the call for the home ice for them, but this is my first look. So Chad LaRose is going to play in the alumni game alongside Rod Brendamore and all those guys that won the Stanley Cup. Again, he was part of that team, I think Greensboro, at Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So I imagine he wasn't going to be in the building today, as this will go side to side now. And for the Shadow, picked up now off the backhand. Good little reverse hit. Takes Pfeiffer off the puck, and now the Sharks will just go ahead and play a backhand in for Jared Pfeiffer. As it goes in the left side corner, bouncing off the end boards, and now the Shadow, as the Sharks elude a helmet that was on the ice. As we flip back down, that is where Tim Schmidt is. Pick this one up behind the net, although it's a little busy. Sharks should be able to get there first, and off the stick lift, brace for contact, kept him across the wall. 18:15 left to go on the first. We're still scoreless, waiting for really a second shot on goal. Just one for the Sharks, nothing yet for the Shadow. It's in their end now. We looked at a camera shot for Rierse as this goes back around the end boards. Good contact there between the Shadow bench. They'll go ahead and take their change. Lute of a hit, a stick gets knocked out of the hand, and here's Sharp. Lets the wrister go. Sarter makes the save, hits it off of the side of his body. A little physical game here early as Sharp had the puck there for a moment. A couple players come together against the boards. Sharp now throws his hit back and behind the net now. Little reverse hit, and this will get flipped back down the ice. The refs are not going to blow this one dead, so Sharks have to get this one quickly from right to left outside their zone. Flip pass attempt for Sharp, a good back outlet feed. Here is Redmond. Redmond now, sharp angle chance, closed up by the 5-hole of Sarter. Toward the left side dot now, but picked up by the Shadow. It's a 3-on-3. Gagnon able to stay on sides as this goes toward the right wing. Tipped out of the air. That was a good save at the moment for Gilliam. And the Sharks in the cross center ice, Cole Halgamel lost it. Picked it off the backhand. Redmond trying to go ahead and get this loose, and this was almost collected for the Sharks. Now stolen. Here's a wrister. Redmond hits the glass. Back and behind the net now. Just a McComas with a flip but this is the Shadows' vulcanized rubber. Take this one from right to left. Good outlet pass. Jamison Mayam, defense off the drop. Good feed. That one goes wide toward the referee, and then players collide into the net. That's going to blow the play dead. Looked like Mayam no worse for wear, having a chuckle alongside with the Waterford Sharks. Rotundi going to take the draw. Then alongside the captaincy, Spencer Bowman. This will be picked up by the Sharks. He lifted down the ice. Cody Oakes will take a look, but this will go to Sarter. Back on behind the net. Sharks try to get the steal. Cole Hogemo, left side blue line. This is 5-hole save right out in front from Zach Molkowski. Just kept in at the blue line side. Hogemo, backhand, chance at the net. At 16 minutes. Good pressure there for the Sharks, trying to find a way to get one. It's going to take me some time, admittedly. I won't say this between all the Lady Sharks, Mama Shark, Nick Parrott, and everything else. Once I look at this third jersey a little bit more, I'll be able to get my eyes in front of me and think about what I see. But it does remind me a little bit of that San Jose logo, as you mentioned. But I do like the color scheme in the mix of it. It's pretty unique, and it's different. You have your alternate jerseys. That's what you want. Combination pass. This one gets stolen. Sent back toward the left side. Good sweep there for Jarrett Pfeiffer. And now outstretch. Pilette has it toward the left side wing. He's working on his forehand. Set out front of the net. It is loose. And back him on the cage. That's where Oakes is. Makes his man miss. Excellent move. The pass. Try to be a combination. A lot of tips here for the Michigan Shadow. Got to be careful of that. Again, the former Motor City Rockers affiliate. As this is sent back in. Look at the glove save by Sarter. It bounced out in front of the middle of the slot. But the Shadow will watch this one matriculate across the center ice. Theo Goody, assistant captaincy for Waterford, flips it in. This is the exact type of game that Waterford wants to play against the Shadow. You know they're going to be seeing a lot of each other in the division, maybe even more toward the playoffs as well when you advance that clock toward April of 2026. This will be Sauce D to D, and we'll get a chance to start again from right to left. Good move there for Jarrett. On his backhand, working toward the left wing. Try to send one out in front. This one bounces off the end boards. Sharks have possession. Middle of the slot, they kind of run into each other there and see if the Shadow look to break out. Again, nothing wrong with the speed now as Pfeiffer gets another steal, gets away from a hit there. Backhand saved out in front as Cherwalk threw it out there. Be sent back in for the Sharks. They are off. As this will go to the left side. Arnott gets through a hit. As this goes right to left. And Baker will send this one back in behind the cage. As this will be recollected here for Spencer. Spencer will kiss it off the glass. And back to the defense now. Tim Schmidt settle it down. A couple of stick chops. As this gets taken away from Theodore Ravel. And the Shadow were content to gain the left side red line. Baker will get a whistle at 13:40. So the one danger for me for the Michigan Shadow, again, they started as Flint, changed their logo a couple times. We talk about Motor City Rockers. You got the FPHL affiliate Dansbury Hat Tricks. They have a revolving door as far as their roster of talent they can bring in. They have tons of other sponsorships and a lot of other players that they can bring in. We talk about guys like Chad LaRose, who has NHL Stanley Cup experience with the Carolina Hurricanes. There's a lot to do. Again, not as much camaraderie just yet, but the talent is there. And we always talk about that in the preview, at least for the Shadow, like the Vegas Golden Knights in their beginning year. And that's kind of what you would expect. And we'll see how that continues the season along. As this will be flipped back in. Recollected now for Joseph Gibbs. Got to get used to seeing number 25 back there. He used to wear the A on his jersey. He's probably going to pick one back up if he plays more of these games, as this will get flipped back down. Start again now, Donaldson. And the Shadow were way off. There really wasn't a call for that, as this is now Redmond. Made his man miss. I think he made everybody skate off sides, but I kind of wonder if there was a bump by the Shadow that took the Waterford offside, but nonetheless, we'll do it again towards center ice. Zach Mulkowski gets set to take this draw against Sean Pillette. Theodore Goody now, as this will be sent back in behind the end boards. Justin McComas with a little bit of a chase for it, trying to get away from Pillette. This is sent toward the blue line. Big contact. Theo Goody, no stranger to that. And then a spinning pass, and losing the helmet is one of the Sharks. And we will get a whistle. Brendan Pfeiffer lost his lid as he made that outlet pass on the backhand. Luckily, everybody's okay down there. We do have a back-to-back tomorrow, both of these boys, so you have to imagine you want to keep those ice baths ready, although it's abnormally cold. Michael Perry on the back end. Here comes the slapper off the stick. This is saved by Gillum and sent back in behind the end boards. Flintworth is lurking now. Sharks trying to get it out of their zone. They'll do so nicely. That was not an easy play. McComas off the touch pass. Here's a back-end leave. Oh, rebound opportunity for Cole Hogamo. He fanned it out. Otherwise, probably would have scored. Potential break. Mulkowski last man back. Rister save. Good stop there for Gilliam. Now the Sharks, as the Shadow, a little bit of a change. Hogamo off the drop for McComas. McComas sent it toward the net, but that's where Sarter is. He'll hold. So John out here with you. I'm your play-by-play man alongside Go Live Sportscast in the Red Rink. You guys let me know what you think of the pace if you're following along. Kind of enjoy it between these two. Physical so far. A lot of shots. Traffic in front of the net. And the first goal would have to loom large, you'd have to think. And you don't say that in a lot of contests. Gilliam now will stop this in behind his net. Off the long loft. And we'll see as there's more contact. Got a hand in the air and a little bit of a hook. I think the Sharks are going to the box. Maybe Polsha. We'll indeed see who is going to be in the sin bin. I know it is Waterford. It's going to be a power play here for the Shadow. Just over the halfway marker of the first. We're still scoreless. Baker watching at the point. It's Ryan Rotundi. Fake the slapper now to Baker. Take this one on the left side dot. That's Mayim. We'll get it back and across the blue line side. Good keeping. Slap pass out in front. Sticks in the lane there for Bowman. Try to hand-eye it out of the air, but it's in the left corner. Sent toward the net, couple of rebounds, and we get a whistle. I don't know if the ref lost sight of the puck or the net came loose. What you want to see here for Waterford, and this is not me picking and choosing names and being mean or anything else like that, but if you do see Gilliam have one of his best games of the year, it would be at a right time for it. Again, the Waterford Sharks, you want to see their numbers improve back and behind the blue paint. Good work there for Cole Hogamo to go ahead and kill some time, and Riersu's got to go back in his own net. Again, his numbers are absolutely ridiculous. 3 goals, 27 assists, 30 points through 6 games. He is the setup man. Everybody on the Shadow can score. Gandy, number 13, usually is the power play guy. Cody Oakes on his backhand. We'll send this one back to the point. Riersu now patient as this goes toward the right side dot. Gagnon, now to Riersu, play crisscross. Gagnon's pass out in front of that wrister. That one's a good save for Gilliam. And this will be flipped back down. Sharks have about 40 seconds left to kill here. Sarter needs a big game for the Shadow because they're kind of figuring out who they want to use behind the net. Against Sommerfeld's the one that they brought in that has a lot of experience, but they've used 5-6 different goalies this year. And you want to keep those numbers up as well. Oakes using his speed on his forehand now, does a lap, goes toward the left side down the middle of the slot now. Oakes makes someone miss. Here's a wrister, hit the glass. That would have been outrageous. This is kept in. That should have been kept in. Unless the Sharks caught a break. 9:41, that was a blatant miss. That's got to be an ozone draw here for the Shadow, is it not? So Kanich is out there as well with Baker and Mayim. Again, they're using 2 D-men. Usually you don't do that on the power play side, but you want to have that control back there to start plays at the point. And this will be lofted. This will kill the penalty. So Sharks dodge their first bullet there, but again, the job's not done. Played in off the backhand. This is not out. And nice toe drag and a save close 5-hole. That's an unreal move from the Shadow there to be able to create space. Oakes was able to do that just previously. No goals to tell you about so far. Not used to saying that, but between these two teams, it's kind of what you want to see settle in a little bit off the backhand. Here's a bouncing vulcanized rubber, so it's picked up by Pfeiffer. Work on his backhand now as he gets shoved in the corner. Shadow quickly try to push the other way. Zokanich just try to keep a blade in the air to stay on sides. Sharks get a break. It's a 2-on-0. They get the pass across. Scores! Excellent pressure there for Waterford. And at 8:57, they get first blood. You got to create your own luck there. And able to get the steal and just get enough there past Sarter. Off that pass, it took to be the last moment to throw the vulcanized rubber over there, and the Sharks will get the first goal. That's big because they just killed a power play for the Shadow. Set the other way now, and this will be Pilet. Put it back in the zone end. You got Vermeech out there, number 25. He's another one of those guys to watch. Justin McComas. To get the steal, McComas sent it toward the net. That one wide of Sarter. He was not in good position there. If there would have been a rebound, he'll close it off 5-hole. McComas hunts the puck. McComas to the right side. Good pass! Oh, what a shot there. Have just missed. And alongside for Zach Molkowski. Here's a good touch. And alongside for Lavelle. Sherlock has got the first. Here's a chance the other way. Gillingham with a sparkling stop. As it's picked up now for Goody. Goody will find the entry. Take a wrister. This one off the glove hand. It's in! I think it rolled across the line. Sarter was looking behind him, and it's 2-0. So a couple of goals here for the Sharks. Again, right after they killed a penalty from the Shadow, and you get a couple. Theo Goody's got the latest from Cherwalk on the first, as this one goes off the stick shaft, the Sarter. 7:40 left. Sharks have a 2-0 lead. Again, this one flipped in from long range and then played. So we'll see if everybody can take a change for Tyler Groth's squad as well. When I do have all of the coaching staff for the Shadow, I can throw those in my notes. Riercy now. Ooh, I thought he would have beat the hybrid icing. They did not give it to him. That's a couple calls for the Shadow. I think that could have gone either way. It probably should have went their way there. I'll get your reset as far as the intermission on the Facebook post. And then we got Sherwalk and Goody with the goals. We get another stoppage. I'll make sure I mark those in as this is flipped toward the right side dot. That's where Cody Oakes is. Again, Luke Formica will be playing today. He's wearing number 14, the former Shark. I don't know if that's just a loan or if that's permanent there. Perry off the stick of Gilliam and up and out of play. Being O-zone draw here for the Shadow. Samuel Gagnon. And off the tie-up, we'll see who gets possession of this. Back in behind the end boards, that's Donaldson. Good escape. Able to get the puck now toward the right side ring. Here's Donaldson. He is shoved off the puck, but he's not giving up on the play, and we will get a whistle at 6:44. Not sure if something was going back behind there or they're looking at the spokes in the net. I'm not going to say anything negative here for Sarda. That second goal, obviously he'd like to have back, but you would have to think if this game does get, which I don't think it would, any sort of out of hand for 4 or 5, that you would imagine Sommerfeld's going to come in now. You do have a back-to-back for both of these squads. Maybe you want to try to give a full day. Good battle out in front of the net for Hunter Keppel. But it's just something to think about because this game's fundamentally important. You can't think about Saturday until you win this Friday. I'm not going to get a lot of Friday games this year. This might be the only one on the calendar between these two. Keppel now waiting a little inside out as this goes back to defense. Crisscross now. And that is where the Sharks are. Start this one back in their own end. And off the left, Alex Sharp will watch as this is picked up across center ice and then backhanded in. Jared Siegel content to throw this one in. Sharks have a 2-0 lead. 5:55 over the first. Here's a turnover, and this one will kiss the glass. Jared Pfeiffer wanted to do better with that one, but the Sharks do have possession. Sharp angle chance right at the net. Sarder able to close one off, and then he's got a 5-hole save here. You know, Frank did mention this to me, and alongside off camera, I know he does all the calls and alongside for the Shadow, but the one thing he always mentions with the Sharks, he gets a chance to cover a lot of these games and then shoot everything, I'll recall on this, is that the Sharks just don't stop as far as their hunt for pucks and everything else. And what I saw the week before in the pause against the Muskegon Voyagers, yes, they were shorthanded. Never seen a team like that lose 12-2, but again, you take advantage of the personnel that is or isn't on the ice. But you know, both of these teams are hungry in this one. Off the backhand, I think the Sharks are off. We'll have to step back up, and now this is Rotundi. Will play this one between his legs and did not gain that red line. So this will go back another 200 feet. Wilkowski going to take the O-zone draw. As this one's punched in the left side corner. Chance off the left pad of Sarder. And now the Shadow try to get organized. They only got one forward back up there. Zokanitz now trying to join it off the rush, but the Shadow were off. Shadow content to take some line changes here. It's their right to do so. Wilkowski drop this one straight back. Theo Goody's got the latest. That's why it's a 2-0 lead for Waterford. Touch pass and have to avoid the contact there a little bit as Justin McComas, although that still hit him pretty good. Bounces in between the referee and Goody. Just takes a casual look and see what's behind him. Start again, a la Victor Hedman of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Outstretched pass, Helgamo gains that line and sends it in deep. Shadow will look to see if anyone's going to break out here as Kieran Carlisle tries to hunt for the interception. Has bounced it in between his skates. McComas had a lot of work in behind the net so far. I like what I'm seeing from 91, usually do anyway. As Helgamo now try to give chase. Sharks can't brush it away toward the right wing. Cody Oakes had it for a moment, but this will be intercepted by Brennan. Flip back down the ice for Cole Helgamo, really battling for position now and off the tie-up. And again, I like that no call from the referee. Theo Goody's pass, a little lazy there as Theodore Ravel is he off again. Jeez, that's been a few times now for the Shadow. 3 already in a span of about a minute and a half. Pilek going to get set to take the draw. Then off the forehand, Sharks will start with it. It's Donaldson. Donaldson thought about spinning and turn and try to send this pass forward. It's really contested now across center ice for Yersi. His bounce pass as Mayam will hand grenade it in the corner. Pilek now get over Travel as this one's sent out front of the net. Sharks trying to escape with it here. Polosha is going to have to turn on the burners to catch up to it. Polosha off the back pass. Kieran Carlisle sends it out front. We're not going to get any sort of tripping here. 3:24. Might have the Shadow go to the box if I'd have to think about it. So tripping is the call. 3:24. Sharks have a power play. They score here. They already feel good about where they are, but 3-0 would sound pretty darn good to them. Brennan Sherwalk. This is an all-important draw. He's sent straight back, and this is still contested, and Shadow can just relieve the pressure here off the long flip as this will be sent back down with Jared Pfeiffer. Handle it down. Find an entry across the right wing. Pfeiffer makes everybody miss. Still with it. Falling down. Alva Ovechkin trying to make a play. And Goody keeps it in. Goody takes a wrister toward the net. This one blocked. Just kept in at the line. And now Mikey tried to hold on there. I think he got a little bear hug with Theo. No problem. We'll go to the neutral. Kieran will send this one back. Donaldson has Polosha again that's close to being on the ice, so you can see him take it in and get things started. Donaldson sent it toward the net. This one bounced off the left pad of Sarter. And this will be flipped back down. Nolan Baldrika. He's got it now. Gets around a stick lift. Mayam flips it in. Kieran Carlisle try to get a retrieval. Polosha now has this crunched up against the right side board. He's got a minute left to go here in the Sharks power play. It's their first. This one go D to D. Slap pass. Picked up now Rister. This one blocked out in front. Shadow. Nice work. Send this one down the ice. Gilliam. Now for Donaldson. 2 minutes left in this first. Sharks with a couple of goals. Sherwalk and Goody trying to get one more here before the period expires. Now Polosha on his backhand. Look for Hunter Keppel. Second unit out there now. Donaldson fake the slap pass. Sends it toward the net off the wrister. This one bounces, stays in play. Sharks have it in behind the office of Sarter. Keep it on the outside now. Wrister, this one blocked out in front. And leave the pressure there. Shadow kill the Sharks power play, but Kieran Carlisle sent it in. 5-hole save there for Sarter with the left pad. Picked up now off the chip as Oakes watch this one. This is the Sharks possession. Spencer Bowman a little bit too far off his stick. Sarter now will just shove it into the corner. 60 seconds left to go in this first frame. Sharks applying some good pressure to the right side boards. Be careful not to trip anybody down there. Don't want to leave anything to have to deal with at the start of the second. Here's Perry now. And off the rush, good move off the backhand. Gilliam able to meet him near the left post. Let's flip back in behind the net. Christopher Martin try to get it out of his own end now. Sharks trying to keep things clean in this final 30 seconds thereabouts until I look back over at the clock. Shadow now have possession. Nice work right in the middle of the slot. Here's an extra pass. They've been kept on the outside now. I've been able to keep my head rotated over here. As reverse hit, doesn't take the Shadow off the puck. They send it in deep one more time. Clintworth has it on his forehand. This will be picked up by the Sharks and sent into the bench. 5.8. Let me see if I can do this play-by-play in the last 6 and try to snap a photo here as well, because I do want to send this to Mr. Cooper Hopkins, and I want to get his thoughts on what the third jersey is for the Sharks and how he likes it. So 5.8. It's an O-zone draw here for the Michigan Shadow. Try to see if they can get anything quickly here for Arnott. Maybe if they can draw right back and win a pass and get it over there to 8 and see if he can get a quick wrister. That's probably the only set play that you can have there. There's contact in front of the net. We'll clean everybody out, and this will be pushed right into the boards.
Your score after one, Waterford Sharks 2, Michigan Shadow 0. Shots on goal for the Sharks.
Snapped a couple of pictures there. We'll throw that across toward him once I get some time tomorrow. But it's a 2-0 lead after 1 for Waterford. We'll come back. We'll call the rest of it in a second, let you know what's upcoming. Got a good one on tap here. Stay tuned. Go Live Sportscast. John out here with you.
Go Live Sportscast. Go Live Sportscast.
And you know what we can say? It is pleasant to have a game that has a couple of goals that really mean more. And at 8:57 and 8 minutes, Sharks able to score 2 times. They lead shots on goal 11-7. You have Brennan Sherwalk. Theo Goody's gotten a goal and assist today. And Jared Pfeiffer got an assist on the Sherwalk goal. Again, it was a 2-on-0, able to get it toward the left side blue line. Flip that one in off the latest pass you could possibly make for Pfeiffer to Sherwalk past Sarter. And then Theo Goody on a chance that Sarter had toward the left pad. He looked behind him, and it went in the net. It's a 2-0 lead for the Sharks. Both teams 0 for 1 on the power play, as mentioned. 11-7 on the shot board. Again, I had one of the shadow come over to me as far as people in the stands. Again, I should mention for the Rockers, although Ben Zalagi knows he worked for them, but Dansbury hat-trick affiliation. Again, you got players that come over, so again, they're going to have to find a way to find a place to play, but Waldrika also added there as well. Kind of wonder if he is going to stay with the Sharks or not, because Joel Skolin was a member of the Michigan Shadow and then came over from the Sharks as well. So players move up and down. Scott Brand knows all about that, so everything is good. See what we will find here in this second period between these two. Again, Sharks win, they go to 6-1. The Shadow would fall to 4-3. If the Sharks lose, it's 5-2. That means the Muskegon Voyagers, the Shadow, and the Sharks would all be tied heading into the game on Saturday. Sharks and Shadow have a back-to-back again, as I mentioned, the week 1 when both of these teams were supposed to play. Shadow didn't have their golf outing yet, so they weren't able to start on time. So this is essentially that makeup game from week 1. Sharks are 1-0 in the season series. They won at Fraser 10-8 with 4 unanswered goals in the third. Matthias Tellstrom, number 14, one of the new additions. Again, Gino Mini moved over from the Warhawks to the Shadow. He is not in the lineup today. And Baldrika makes a diving play to inauspiciously begin the second period. Carlisle, this is on sides apparently, in a little curling style. Back and behind the end boards, that's where Clintworth is. As this is flipped back in. Now sent in toward the net, some thunderous contact. So Kanitz tried to finish his hit as this is punched up in the end boards now for Polsha. Take this one D-to-D off the outstretch and off the outside of the skate. Rotundi where the wrister missed it all. Hit the glass. This will work in as a long slap shot anyway, and this will be held by Gillum. Again, if I say anything above the pay grade for anything else, I'll just get a talking to in the office, so no worries. Arnott watch on the backhand now as the Sharks flip this one around real well. We'll take a look as this is sent in behind the end boards. That's where Joe Gibbs was. We're back down for the Sharks to give chase for Brendan Sherwalk, who opened the scoring. And Vermeech will send it back safely D-to-D. Right to left, that's what the Shadow want to do in this period. Samuel Gagnon, he's one of those guys that can definitely light it up, but again, the Shadow all the way across the board have very balanced goal scoring. This is behind the net of Gilliam, and he will get some help and alongside Gibbs and make the save. I think he's finding him between the seat of his pants. Again, it's just good to see number 25 back in the Sharks colors. Again, when Matt Berger coached this team around the playoff side to help him alongside M1 for Grego, he said, get yourself a number 25 if you want to have some success. I'll never forget that quote. It's not easy to do. Face-off loss here for Waterford, and this will elude Arnott. Have to play this rolling puck off the back skate. Try to find real well. Let's stick chop there. Sharks will steal. And across the side for Redmond. Redmond now try to get chase. Here's Vermeech for a moment as this goes back to Brendan Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer try to get it up toward the left side of the glass. That's where my blind spot is, but Goal Lives are going to pick that up. About 2 minutes expired from the second. Good back check here for Waterford. It's still very contested. Mikey will try to get this one to Pfeiffer. Push it ahead now for the OU man and Alex Sharp. Sharp across the right wing. Send this one off his backhand. Hunter Keppel takes a hit to make a play. Let's work back in behind the office. This is with the shadow now. Pilette now for Theo Goody. It's a 6-on-68. Goody, nice work. Little blind back pass there, able to get away from the pressure, and this goes across center ice. Schmidt will watch this one get sent all the way down. And that's what they wanted. Sharks don't agree with it, but I think that was the right call. To be honest with you, the Shadow probably had a couple of small icing calls go against them, in my opinion. I'm trying to keep this one straight across the green. Pilette wants to let everybody know exactly where he wants the face-off. That's always a good way to commandeer the troops to get a good quick shot off. If anything else, they can do so. They're only down 2, but there's not been a lot of shots in this game. This feels more, dare I say, like a game that you would see in March. And on the backhand now for Goody, it is not out. This is sent in deep behind Gilliam. Now Gagnon. Try to flip it out toward the blue paint, but this will just go off the outside. McComas will look for it for a moment. Long shot be held with a 5-hole. Gilliam will calmly squeeze it, hold on. Cody Oakes out there with Reursi and Schmidt. Again, Reursi is the setup man. I told you about 27 assists. You wouldn't expect him to be held off the score sheet. And off the backhand now for Cole Helgamo. Able to get this one right to left. Pilette gets a hit there on Milkowski, but he quickly pops back up. As this is just eluded off the outstretched reach, and Shadow now will have to try to race for this puck. Back in behind the net. Good possession for the Shadow in this second period so far. And this is a careless turnover behind the net of the Sharks. See what can happen here. In the middle of the slot now, Rister. That one's saved by Gilliam off the stick. And you get a little snow job back behind him. Had to turn around to find it. Schmidt lost it behind the seat of his pants. Long Rister there, and Sarter will hold. It's always tough trying to skate backwards anyway. I really don't know how these guys do it. They're able to skate backwards, find the vulcanized rubber, make a pass, take a shot, fight. The physicality. If you can play hockey, you can pretty much play any sport. It also always makes for great golfers. Kieran Carlisle will win this one straight back. As this goes in toward the right side dot. And off the back check, that's where Martin is. We'll go ahead and send it in. Sarter will stop it behind his own net. And a rolling puck gets settled back down across the red line. Sharks content to throw it back in. It might have bounced to hit one of the Shadow, and almost the referee is Clintworth. We'll have it now, Ryan Rotundi. He'll sauce a pass ahead. The right wing side, and it's in. A harmless looking chance. Goes in the net right at 16 minutes, and the Shadow are back within 1. That was a good entry nonetheless, but I think that's one probably should have been stopped. I'll have to look when I write the game story to see if that got deflected or not, but I didn't think so. So 2-1 is the score line. Again, we get another stop. I'll get you the goal marks if they haven't sent on. Just look at those online as the Sharks been starting to publish those. Flip back now for the Sharks. Pelosha off the giveaway here for the Shadow. This is Carlisle. He's trying to dance through a phone booth as this goes toward the right side dot. That's away from Gibbs. And now Donaldson. So Clintworth and Baker get the goal and the assist here, and it's a 2-1 game. Again, that was just directly off a shot, sauce pass, shot right at the net. That one just eluded Gilliam. So 2 goals for the Sharks in the first, 1 for the Shadow here so far. That was at the 16-minute marker. It's a 2-1 game. And we told you, especially coming into the second period, and after what you saw the scoreline initially the first, that every one of these is going to mean a lot more. Donaldson, excellent skating display, but he hit the glass. Gibbs will just go ahead and play last man back here as Arnott find the entry. He gets shoved in toward the left side glass. As the first 5 minutes have expired, puck will hit the netting. That'll automatically blow the play. So it should be 13 and 14 on the score sheet. The Sharks have conceded a couple. Again, it's a little bit interesting from that third period, and Frank was able to cover that for the Shadow in the mix of that 4-goal lead that the Shadow, or the 4 goals that the Sharks were able to score. They're able to take that 10-8 win, and now the Shadow getting a couple of goals. So I got that one right in off the jump as this is picked up, and yes, that was intentional. As this is sent behind the inboards now for Sharp. See what happens now in off the lift. He's trying to get the steal here. Good back check as Roel was content to throw this one in. Paulette now. Flip this in behind the inboards. Sharks don't want to have this be a 3-way tie in the MIHL South. They really need that next goal. That is a great play for Hunter Keppel. Able to steer himself to the left side boards. He's going to get held. See what happens now. To the left of the glass, Sharks have conceded a couple in this period. That's why we are tied at 2. As Roel, this goes in the right side corner. Sharks now with it, try to shoot out the outside of the cage. And this one will be sent in toward the right side of the glass. Sharks have it middle of the slot. Sharp lets it go. This one blocked. And now the Shadow. See what they'll do here. Roel, somebody taken down away from the play. That's for Meach. Slow to get up. And there's got to be a call here. We're still underway, it looks like. We're not sure what happened here as Meach went down. Probably got those camera shots there for us, but he was in pain towards center ice. Shadow are incensed as this one goes up and out of play, and I kind of wonder if something's going to answer for that later. Cody Oakes now having some words in front of the Sharks bench. I don't blame them. And now players coming together. And this is a hug here for Gibbs and Rears. They're trying to sing Kumbaya. A little more playful pushing and shoving here now for the Sharks. Here for Mikey Redmond. Rotundi now coming over with the Zebras as well. But this got wiped out right toward the center ice line. And now I'm seeing the jaws a-flapping from the Zebras, and they might call people for that. You got to be careful not to get any extracurriculars because that could be enough to get you out. Seems like everybody's got the right personnel on the ice, but the talking hasn't stopped, ladies and gentlemen. As this is flipped back in behind the end boards, at least for the Shadow, they tied that up for them. That's really all they need to be concerned about. I know their player got hurt, and that is something you want to think about as well, but you got to keep with the business at hand because the Sharks and the Shadow could strike at any time, and that's just me being honest. Flip this one down the ice. Michael Perry. Here for Joe Gibbs. Gillum. This is very busy behind his office now, and the Sharks able to make a play. 2 and E. Start again, Donaldson is able to shovel across that blue line. Arnott. One more touch pass, Rotundi off the leave. McComas got a steal for a moment. Justin McComas, I think, has played one of his best games of the year. It's not even just scoring goals. He's just been all over the ice, able to hunt the pucks and get steals and kind of move things in transition. Sharks, and off the drop. Good save, and takes a tumble as Milkowski. The goal light should not be going on. It's 2-2 as Gibbs finishes his hit. This is sent toward the blue line side. Now outstretched for Arnott. It's a stick of Clintworth, who's got one, and Gillum's going to have to hold here. We are even almost halfway through regulation here. This is a game that you have not seen in the MIHL this year. Not saying in between the teams, but the score line. This has been as close as we've seen any game in the league so far this year. Kieran Carlisle can't win it. There's this one sent wide. Back and behind, dangerous pass, and Polisha now pick it up. Here's Baldrika, and off the rush, he cuts toward the middle and gets dispossessed. This is picked up off the backhand for Micah. We'll settle this one down. Not used to seeing him on that side of the jersey, but we got a clear look at number 17, the former Shark. As this is picked up now and off the backhand. Sharks have to find it in their own end. Dangerous scores, 5-hole. And the Shadow have scored 3 straight to add 11-11, make a wish. Well, they got the lead. Three unanswered goals here for the Shadow. They have taken the lead. It's a 1-goal game. And we're waiting for the answer here. There has not been really anything besides the 11-8 that's been all that close. The Sharks have been scoring double digits all over the place. But this might be one of those games that finally breaks that mold between both. I think we're just trying to get the numbers and everything dictated. Shouldn't have any problem as far as what needs to be done here. It's a center ice draw. And now the Shadow have the lead at 3-2. It's my first look at them this year at Waterford. Again, part of the Go Live Sportscast has already covered them. They have that affiliate through the year. But now I get a chance to look at this team for the first time. And this is kind of what I expected between these two. As Mayim pump fake a couple times, and this one looking for a deflection, but the Sharks will pick it back up behind their own net. And off the rush now, Pfeiffer lost it for a moment, but this will a little bit of. So for Micah has the GWG at this point. If that would hold, that would certainly create something. So I wonder here, and I'm trying to be objective as possible, what did Theo Goody do? I know we didn't get anything picked up on the camera side for him to get a 10-minute misconduct. I think it's got to be for chirping more than anything else. I'm just looking to see how many personnel is on the ice here for the Sharks. And right now I only see 4, so right now it's got offsetting on the board. But we'll see what ends up transpiring after as this is picked up now off the backhand and sent in. So offsetting is what we have and an icing. 3 unanswered goals for the Shadow have made this a 3-2 game. Again, as we said in the open, Shadow sit at 4-2. They win, they go to 5-2. Sharks would be the same in Muskegon. So that would make everybody essentially even going into Saturday and probably after all this stuff for Saturday as well. You would think all 3 of those teams would win again and improve to 6-2. Really, you would have to forecast into March and April what that could mean for the division, but never too early to talk about that now. That's why this one has been so intriguing. That was a hunt for the puck and alongside for Rearcy. And this will be flipped back down. Alex Sharp. Ooh, Sharp gets taken down on his wall. It was a good clean hit there for Paul Arnott. Sherwalk is getting also called for something as this goes the other way now. And a good save for Gillum. He needed that one. So I'm going to have to look on the side of the box toward the second intermission. We bring it into the third as far as what the call will be. But the extracurricular is kind of the scary part between these two, because if you get busted for that, you're probably going to end up conceding a couple. O-zone draw. And the Sharks will win a D-zone one. They needed that there. And this will be left to right. Here's Joe Gibbs. Again, he's really trying to get his skating legs underneath him as Donaldson able to keep this one to his feet. Gibbs can walk in, wrist, and he missed everything. And settle back down for Cole Helgamo. Slowly toward the net up the left pad of Sarter. Flip back down for Baldrica. Now to Gibbs. Crisscrossing off the skate, spin and turn now. Donaldson trying to keep it alive. He lets it go, and Sarter was moving around in that goal crease as it's flipped in. Justin McComas off the sauce. Not a bad idea, but that was a tough pass. Try to send it back the other way now for Cole. And the Sharks try to find some space in behind the net of Sarter. Take this one cross ice. Sharks in the middle of a change. And a good stick chop out of the air. Took Theodore Ruel away from the puck. He almost took himself out trying to get a hit. Here is Cole Helgamo. Cole, slapper. That hurt the glove hand. Right out in front. Scores! The big slapper! And then the rebound! And we are tied. 8:32. It's a 3-3 game now. Cole Helgamo, I'm going to give him full marks for setting that one up because Sarter had to recover there off that rocket. That was hurting his glove hand. He couldn't get in position, and he get a shot on net. It mattered a lot, and the Sharks have tied the game. Kieran Carlisle try to take this one right up the gut as this will be flipped back down. See what happens now. A 5-hole save, another rebound, and the Sharks as we get a whistle at 8:19.
32 seconds remaining in the second period. Goal scored by number 2, Cole Helgamo. Assisted by number 18, Christopher Martin. And number 91, Justin McComas.
So McComas gets that tertiary point. Martin gets the assist. Cole Helgamo gets the goal. But again, that's all created there from the cannon for Cole. He knows what he wants. He lets the shot go. And we got some more power play time here for the Shadow. Everything is becoming a complete mess. I'm going to have to consult that score sheet. And then misconduct, Goody got 10 minutes. Mayam Slapper missed it. He was looking low. Again, usually that's what you want to do. If you know you can't hit the net, just create those rebounds. Kept on the outside, Mayam one more time. Touch, slap pass, and the Sharks will get the steal. 2-on-2. Here's Polosha. He's kept to the outside there by Wallstrom for a moment, and Polosha couldn't find it as Matthias tried to get this one out of his own end. Now he'll arc toward the left side, pick up the puck now, see if he can sauce it cross ice. A little bit too far, Rotundi will get the recipient of the feed now, and they'll crisscross and start again. Flip it in now, that's where Gillen will stop it with the stick. Flip it in across the glass. This will be kept in here for the Sharks and sent all the way down. So Jared Siegel in the box for about 45 more seconds and sent all the way down again. You want to be able to kill this, especially after Cole Helgamo just tied it. Again, the Shadow had scored 3 unanswered in the second period. If not, we got back to 3-3. This has been a very competitive and excellent game. Cody Oakes been able to use that speed a la Russell Westbrook a little bit in this one, as it's big slapper. This one blocked, hurt one of the Sharks as it's kept toward the right side dot. Back and behind the net. Arnett wanted the puck, and that pass didn't hit anybody. Milkowski doesn't have enough gasoline, but he will hunt a little bit just to try to get some pressure. Sharks can take a couple changes if they want. They got the captaincy and Spencer Bowman out there. About 6:20 left in period numero dos. Siegel back now out of the box. Here's Oakes again. Try to work his way to the left dot on his backhand. And that one is in now. He got a piece of it to Gillian the first time, but Oakes made a power move, a little big rig toward the net. And that rebound is the one that went in. I don't think he's going to get the goal, but he's going to get an apple for it. Yeah, they've not been able to contain his speed for number 19. And you haven't really seen that a lot for the Sharks, where a defenseman is able to come down the ice like that. Unless you're talking about Riley Picture for the Muskegon Voyagers, he really is the only other guy that I've seen to be able to do that. But Cody Oakes is making some things happen. Again, the luxury that the Shadow have as far as some of their players, it is what it is, and you got to be able to fight through it. Back in behind the net now.
Number 66, Sean Killen, assisted by number 19, Cody Oakes.
So Pile from Oakes, he's the one that cleaned up the rebound, and Oakes is the one that made it happen. You give him full marks just like you give Cole Holgamo on that previous, but it's 4-3. Polosha, what a dipsy doodle there as he gets smoked right after. He hurts the referee as well. More so than that, Polosha pops back up. This will be an icing. That one was the right call at 5:14. As far as if the Sharks win or not, as far as this jersey, this would be the first total as far as their win or loss. So if you're superstitious, you would also talk about there. But Gibbs, first look in there, you got the Boomer patch and the mix of the Shark logo on the front and the color scheme. Gibbs, what a move behind his own net. Start again. That looks like the old school. That's one heck of a pass there as well. As kept on the outside now. Walk-in slapper. That deflected. That's unfortunate there. Spencer Bowman. Tellstrom stops. Nice feed right up the ice. And it took a whole host of Sharks just to dispossess that puck. Back in behind for Rotundi. He touched it for a moment. Start again from Perry now. On his backhand, Rotundi still with it. Ryan. Flip pass toward the other end for Tellstrom. Not looking too bad as far as his debut for the Shadow. Chance now blocked off the right side of the skate. Inadvertently, players fall down, so we should still be underway here as we're getting just underneath 4 minutes. Riersi. He'll flip this one. That was a good idea. He actually lofted it toward the left side of the post. Hunter Keppel off the reach. Keppel now trying to get his own retrieval. Got to be quick about it though. Here's a slap shot. It rolls in. It bled through. That Sarter didn't have it. He probably should have, but we're tied again. Goaltending. That's what we talk about in some of these games, and sometimes you just don't have it. When you're looking like the Red Wings back there when they had 5 goals the other night and lost 6-5, those are the kind of ones that burn you if the Shadow want to go ahead and win this game. And we are going to get a goaltending change. I would ask Frank if he was surprised, but he's doing the camera work here today. Sommerfeld going to come in. We know the game's still close, and you kind of want to make sure you have full duties on both ends, but Sarter's got to have a couple of those, and the Sharks will take it. It's a tie game once again. It's picked up back and behind the inboards. Gagnon on the prowl here. We get a whistle at 3:38. Being ozone draw for Michigan. Feels kind of weird saying that, but it's what they're called. I'm always thinking about the maize and blue. You think about the basketball team as well. My goodness, how good they've been. And off the forehand drawback, this will be the Sharks with the puck and Siegel. Siegel with a loft pass from Olkowski. So Michael Redmond from Hunter Keppel and Jared Pfeiffer has tied this game once again. And outstretch. This will be intercepted one more time. Oak's trying to turn the burners on again. He's had a whale of a hockey game as his shot goes up and on a play. Now the question is, you turn on the other end for Brent Sommerfeld. Now Jack Hudak had said a lot as far as his travels up and down through multiple leagues. He has got a ton of experience, and he is an excellent netminder. We talked about the conveyor belt that the Shadow have gone through as far as 5 or 6 different goaltenders. Now, one of the ones before, Ruggiero, had that start in the Sharks 10-8 win on the other side for Frazier, but they've gone through a bunch of goalies, but I think they've found their mainstay. Rotundi set it around the end boards. And we'll do it again for Daniel Manns. The first time I can call his name, he's wearing number 40. This will be flipped out in front of the slot. And a good back check there. That's where Donaldson is. Step through, gets away from a hit. About 2:30 left in this second. Kieran Carlisle gets dispossessed, and Manns will send this one across. Clintworth gets his pocket picked. And now Donaldson try to step through. And Michael will throw this one back down the ice. Joe Gibbs will have it. Little forehand drag, buy himself some time, and that pass will bounce off a blade. Sharks try to hunt for their own rebound. Sommerfeld will put it into the corner. Kieran Carlisle and Polisha, the 16-61 inverse. The guys that do a ton of damage here for the Sharks. It's everybody, but when they're at their best, that's when the Sharks really start to hum. Clintworth now wants a breakout. Here is a long outlet, and it looks like Shadow just iced it amongst themselves. He didn't need to make that play there. We'll see if the Sharks can make them pay with a face-off win and create some damage. There's been a lot of talking in between that Shadow bench. Again, I'd like to hear Frank's thoughts the next time they pick up a Shadow game as far as what he thinks, but I really don't think that they like the referees today. and they have been saying as much. Again, this is me trying to be as neutral as I can. Yes, working for the Sharks call, but it is what it is. You want to try to give credit to both teams. And there's been a lot of talking here. Center ice draw instead of the ice. Now they just got to get the right personnel back on there. As for Micah, we'll be on his P's and Q's on the back end, and we'll start one more time. Hunter Keppel, content to throw it in. Sommerfeld on his own net. Good body contact there for Waterford. Tellstrom on his backhand. Again, he's had a good game, called his name a couple of times. Look out for Micah, lost his lid, and it goes the other way. Back door, and that was wide open, but the puck didn't go there. 1:10 left to go in the middle frame. We are tied at 4, and I'm glad we got another period. I'm just trying to save my voice again for tomorrow, but all the goal calls that we've had, some of them been unconventional, some of them been electric. But both teams have played hard. Little Rashid Wallace. Michael Redmond has got the latest goal. On his backhand now, slows, starts up. He gets punched away toward the right side of the glass. And this will be flipped back. That's where Tellstrom is. As this will be settled back down for Jared Siegel. See him a lot more in this second period. Hunter Keppel with a touch pass, and this one picked off by Schmidt. Should be able to find an entry rather easily. Reursi now near the back door if the puck goes to him, down to 20 seconds. Baker slap shot it. That almost handcuffed Gillum. And we'll see if the Sharks have time for one more play before the second period expires. Slapper will get sent in. We're down to 5. And that should all but do it here. The Shadows score 4 times in this second period, but the Sharks do respond after trailing a couple of times. After 40, we're tied at 4, and we still got one more period of regulation left. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a good one. We'll talk more when we get set to start the third. Be right back.
Go Live Sportscast. Go Live Sportscast. Live Sportscast. Go 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 Live Sportscast.
Cole Halgamo scores to tie it at 3. One time with a slapper that hurt the glove of Sarter, hurt that hand, and then a rebound and goes in, and then Michael Redman. So we're tied at 4. Shots are also tied as well at 18. Theo Goody should be back after a misconduct. There was lots of chirping, and then after that fourth goal, the Shadow went ahead and made the change. They have taken Brandon Sarter out and replaced him with Brent Sommerfeld. So we'll see what happens after this set of 20 again. There is a fair chance we might get our first overtime game here in the MIHL. I don't want to count the chickens or anything else, but if both teams at least pick up a point, that also is also something to think about as well for standings, because you never know how that will work toward the end of the year. But if the Shadow win this, it's worth repeating. In regulation, they will be 5-2. The Sharks will fall to 5-2. Muskegon already is. So the Shadow Sharks, they have their back-to-back. This is essentially the makeup game from week 1. And if the Shadow win this one in regulation, it sets up a 3-way tie in the South that might not be broken for a few more weeks, depending on, if we're being honest with ourselves, the Voyagers, the Shadow, and the Sharks, when they're all at full power, there really isn't any other teams that are going to be able to take them out, not just in the division, but across the board, unless you're talking about the Kalkaska Kings that are very excited in the MIHL North, and they have every right to be. That would be the one team that I would be thinking about, but we won't see them in the Red Rink, I don't believe, until somewhere around February from the cross part of the state. So as it is, this is our mainstay matchup, and we'll be getting set for the third period. So John Hunter with you alongside the Go Live Sportscast. We are going to get set here for this third period in the red rink. It was a 2-0 lead for the Sharks after one. The Shadow responded. They had taken the lead at one time, 3-2. Sharks fight to tie it twice, and now it sits at 4-4. And everything between these two teams, this is kind of what we expected and what was supposed to be the season opener. Sharks were able to get that one 11-8 against the Warhawks. That will be their next opponent tomorrow. That will be set for a 6:30 game time, as Zolkanitz and Polsha exchange some words before we get set for the puck drop here. He is a big boy. Again, we talk about the conveyor belt that the Shadow can bring with their sponsors and everything else and the players. It's just going to be about getting consistency toward the end of the year, because there is no question that they already have the talent to be able to do what they want to do. That's why I said that in my open at John Reinott toward the MIHL. This is centered out toward the paint, but they were able to bail out Sommerfeld, who wasn't even in the crease. Now to Joe Gibbs. Off the long outstretch, he went for a sauce and toward the back end, but that eluded the Sharks there as well. And this will be stolen now. Sent toward the goal mouth, and the Sharks got to find it again. Here's Gibbs. Push this one off the glass. He can't get it out. This would really hurt if they concede here. Baker, this one goes wide. Donaldson now toward the right side of the boards. We flip back down. And Joe Gibbs, see if he can make right. And off the wrist, this one hits Sommerfeld with the stick shaft up high and be sent back down. And Gibbs will take his change. Again, the first contest for him this year, as this will go D to D. Into the traffic, fought off by Sommerfeld. Nice work. There was some traffic in front of that goal. Now on the backhand, it's Hunter Keppel. Send this one back out after taking a hit. Another chance. This will be gloved down at 18:41. Again, no nonsense for Sommerfeld back in the crease. You would have to think, in between every goaltender that is left across the north and south of the divisions the first time this year, as we go to 8 teams, he might very well be the latest Jack Hudak from the Muskegon Voyagers, the one with the most experience and the one that have the best potential numbers with a good defense behind him. He could be the goaltender that they need. The glass does not break there. Spencer Bowman had to take an elbow to brace himself. Theodore Ruel will send this one back down. That is where Gagnon is, toward the goal mouth, and the Sharks will keep it clean behind their own net. Try to start again from right to left, some heavy contact again. Paulette finishes his hit, and this one gets sent back down again. Good move in behind the net for Goody. Again, he is back from that misconduct. Off the outstretch, here is Jared Pfeiffer, tries to step through, gets hooked a little bit, and we'll see if anything gets called. No, we'll still press on. Here's a back pass. Good save, Sommerfeld. That was his best. My goodness. As this is off the long flip there on the one-on-one. It'll work out. Goody's got to step up. And now we might get one of these guys to go. If you're Goody, you want to stay on the ice here. You can't afford to get any more misconducts. They need him. As this is picked up off the forehand. This next goal might win the game outright. Keppel. Go ahead and take a look at it. Reursi now. In part of the rush. He's got Oakes with him wide. Drop here for James. Rister, this will be saved by Gilliam. Does a half gainer, but he holds on to it. It'll be Reursi on the wing. This one's one now for Micah. Hits one up high off the blocker of Gillum. And Hunter Keppel. Ooh, shoves for Micah away from the puck. Here's a wrister from Sharp, and Sommerfeld's got it. Like that push there for Hunter Keppel. Able to fight through the contact and go ahead and make a play anyway. He was one of the guys that was instant offense in the postseason for the Sharks. He was there in every game, and it mattered. He scored big, big goals. Keppel now. He'll send it one off the stick shaft to Sommerfeld. Good steal. Step up in the lane here for the Sharks, Jarrett Siegel. Send this one down. Micah takes another hit. They're making it personal here now that he's not a member of the Sharks. And off the backhand, good work here for the Shadow. Brush it in deep. Curling style action behind the net. Oakes will work. He will get the steal and send it in deep. Pfeiffer try to find it. He'll get it behind his net. Can't make a mistake there as the Sharks look to break out a little inauspiciously. There's a step through now for Pfeiffer for a moment. Sommerfeld back in behind his cage. Make the outlet pass. Left to right come the Shadow. Oakes using his speed. Got Rehearse with him. And the pass doesn't get there as Baker 3-on-2 for the Sharks. And off the drop, Brister hits the glass. Again, Sommerfeld, gotta imagine, is not going to give up anything. And where the Sharks are in this game, as the stick swung wildly. That's got to be called, is it not? A little bit of a slash signified by the Zebras. You got to keep that stick on the ice. It's the same that they always have. And this is a critical opportunity early in this third. John Under with you alongside the Goal Live Sportscast Lakeland Arena in the Red Rink. We're going to get set to close out this 5-game homestand for the Sharks, and we won't see you for a while. So we're going to try to at least get you a couple victories. If not at least one, this is the one that's kind of up in the air between these two. Now we'll see what the Sharks have on this power play. Only their second, really. Toward the right side wing. High stick is a minor for the Sharks to work with, about $1.35. It's loose out in front and then punched off the glass. That is where Gillum is. Settle this one down. Gloved by Pfeiffer. He's got to roll this puck quickly. Have to do so. Back check is pretty good here for the Shadow. Almost knocked themselves into the bench trying to fight for that thing. Now behind the office. Start again off the back pass. Kieran Carlisle. Been a little quiet in this game, but he could break out at any time. Donaldson. Rister missed it all. 14:40 left to go in this third. Race for the puck there, Tellstrom. Now for Theo Goody. Now Donaldson. Got to get her on a hit. Good forecheck again for the Shadow. There's a lot of speed and a lot of bodies that they can use over and over again to be able to keep the pressure on the Sharks. Again, you know they want to respond after the 10-8 home ice loss they had, Fraser, and the Sharks came back and scored those 4 unanswered in the third. You're going to keep bringing that up because it matters in terms of where the standings will be as far as what happens if the Sharks win or if they lose. It'd be a 3-way tie. It's regulation. An extra point would at least put the Sharks in second place if they got the loser points, so to speak. Again, you just got to pick up anything. It doesn't matter here if the Sharks get the win, even if the Shadow get one, because it's really going to come down to that season series, you have to believe, between these two. Little elongated breakout here for Waterford, just trying to get started, and they can't do so, as this was Mike Baker now. Push us ahead, good pass. And a miss. Ooh, I thought it would have been a miss there, but a game-saving back check off a stick lift. And this is between one of the Sharks' bodies. And go ahead and pick it up now as Theo Goody tries to windmill around his man as the Shadow return to full strength. Have to brace through a couple of hits. Good touch pass here. Opportunity now. Bowman hits the netting. That's going to blow the play dead. So that's the first time Bowman has had to be separated in between any of the other players. That was Mike Baker. I would say for Bowman, he's been on his P's and Q's today. I don't want to get him mad at me because I got the handshake from the captaincy today telling the jersey's looking good. And as it is, it would look even better getting 2 points. That's the most important thing right now. Another penalty on the board here. This is just starting to get held out like candy. Either way, Sharks just had a power play. They couldn't do much with it. They're going to get another one. This is one straight back. And this is a one that you got to have, really. Donaldson's pass gets deflected. I see what he was trying to do right in the middle of the slot. This will be settled back down by Gibbs. Nice work to get away from a hit. Donaldson, one more touch. Sommerfeld makes the save with a stick. And this goes back down. Way out of the goal crease there was Gilman. Lead for Gibbs. He is the point setup man when he's at his best. Again, you give him a few more games underneath him. Hopefully he gets to play again tomorrow. And you think the Sharks have added someone big time that's been through their team quite a bit. Gagnon forced to steal Zokanitz. He's a big boy to dispossess out of the puck. And every time you see that number 72 with it, it goes loose out in front. It beheld Gagnon was on the prowl, but it takes about 2.5 Sharks to take Zokanitz off the puck. .111 left in the Sharks power play, but they're going to have to deal with the D-zone draw. I would say the face-off circle has almost been about dead even, maybe a couple more for the Sharks, but too close to call. Find an entry across the right wing, and the stick shaft goes flying. Bowman now is going to have to pick it up amongst the lumber, as this is in the right side corner. Sharks get this one back to D. Goody, wrister. This is saved off Sommerfeld. Rebound again. Jam at the net. A little Dominic Hasek there for Sommerfeld, but he makes the save. He is excellent in the goal crease. You can definitely tell the difference between the tick up and the quality of talent. And just not a lot of those teams have that. As it's flipped back in behind the inboards, Mikey Redmond. He has the latest goal for the Sharks that tied it at 4. Redmond now. Trying to go again! Oh, on the backhand, just got cut away, but he almost did so. He has had some spectacular goals. He had a hat trick in that game against the Shadow when they won, did the Sharks. As that was loose. Gotta shoot it here. McComas wide. And Redmond is the last one back. Toward the right side wing. Good step up, Redmond. What a cancel there. Play offense and play defense. Race for it now is Pfeiffer. Rolling puck. That's where the Sharks are. Riursi. Give it a courtesy here for Theo Goody. Got an outstretched reach. Got to be careful now. He's got the forcing against the board, stolen, and almost hit the pipe for Pillette. Goody was a little nonchalant there. I didn't think he saw that Riursi was that close as we get a whistle at 11:02. This is almost giving me vibes, ladies and gentlemen, of when Go Live was with me at Lakeshore Sports Center. Again, you had Chris Hawkins with the GWG when they won the championship. I know much different stakes in the regular season, which denied the Sharks a potential back-to-back, but it feels like this type of game right now with 11:02 left to go in this third. This is one of the best MIHL games of the year that we've seen as far as being close and competitive all the way across the board. Halgamo wins a tap to himself from McComas toward the net. This off the stick of Sommerfeld, hit the netting. We're going to stop it. Ozone draw here for Molkowski. He won't win it clean. And step up here for the Sharks to try to get it for a moment. Bodies are all over the place. And Pfeiffer with his reach will try to beat Lions to the puck here. And he'll do so. And across center ice, Pfeiffer trying to brush his way through the contact. As this will get sent down deep. That's where Siegel is. Got McComas with him on the opposite wing. Siegel keeps his head up, makes the right pass. And the Sharks now try to go right to left. McComas kicks it off his skate. That was a nice play to try to keep it going. And now he will try to get a little forecheck here. A little stick to tap. Clintworth was offsides. He's trying to cheat for some offense there. We're at the halfway marker of a tie game in the third. Joe Gibbs, let's go. On his backhand, send it towards Sommerfeld. And he's got it. That's the Joe Gibbs that we're waiting to see for number 25. All you got to do is get a letter on that chest. And oh man, if you can get 25 back into his shape where he can play every other game here, that just adds so much more for the Sharks. And I think it was the right call to be able to do that today, and I think they knew that because you had Papandrea the first time out when they played at Fraser. And we'll get a hand in the air, and it looks like the Sharks are going to get a third straight power play. Sommerfeld's been able to close the door big time so far in this game. If Sarter was still in, you would think that the Sharks might be up by a couple. It's just not trying to point blame one way or the other. It's just stating the obvious for where they are, and you know both these teams need it in the standings. Kieran. This one sent back now for Gibbs. Cross now for Donaldson into the traffic. Good rebound opportunity for a chance. That one blocked nicely by the Shadow. Sent again, hit the glass. And the Shadow got real loud on that one because they knew what was at stake. It's punched up, hand grenaded into the netting. We'll have to keep it here.
Penalty at 9 minutes and 47 seconds of the third period.
So 3 straight power play opportunities here for the Sharks. You've really got to go ahead and convert on one of these. I know I said that on the last 2. I just don't know if Sommerfeld's going to give up one. You won't see it till I see it with my own 4 eyes the first time. Donaldson as this one gets sent down deep for Kieran Carlisle. It's about time, 61 and 16. They kind of ignite that pilot light. This one turnaround chance wide and way down the ice. Joe Gibbs now takes a look behind him, and we're starting to get a little more of a crowd back in behind the players' benches as well, as we know that the moment is starting to loom larger here as we get later in this game. D-zone draw upcoming here for Waterford. Theodore Burrell going to take it here for the Shadow. Unless they wave off someone else, the Sharks going to have to get the right lines on there. I know that there's been some things that have been said. If the players do that enough, you might be able to give them a bench minor because you know who's going to be on the ice. You always hear that from Steve Dangle, who always does all the Maple Leaf stuff. Picked up now for Donaldson. On his backhand, sent it towards Sommerfeld. Flipped up into the air, glove down. Donaldson going to do a lap. Take this one cross for Kieran Carlisle. Sent it toward the net, and this puck was loose, but the play was blown dead. We're getting close to the 9:30 marker of the Eastern Standard Time. It's a 4-4 game between the Sharks and the Shadow. Sharks' third power play consecutively in this period. You can't let them all go to waste because that could be a big reason you win or lose this game. Here we go again now with Mikey Redmond. Makes his man miss again. He has got his tap dancing shoes on all night. Goody's pass, that's turned over. This will go right to Gillum. And now to Michael. Redmond on his backhand. No problem getting around Paulette. Toward the right side wing. Try to buy some time now. He is punched up against the glass. Give it enough time for Bowman to pry it loose. Now toward the left side, Bowman off the outside of the cage. Michael. Pick it up now. Krister Cherwalk. This one will be saved by Sommerfeld. Time has almost expired in the third consecutive power play for Waterford. Into the right side of the glass, Cherwalk finishes his hit. And this goes back down. Shadow return to full strength. They got a 2-on-1 now right off the And a whistle! Gagnon had his head down. He was waiting for a goal there. 7:41. Might have got a little offsides, a little jet engine fired up too soon. So Pulek going to get set to take it. We got Rearcy with Mike Baker and Jamison Mayam, as well as Cody Oakes. Sharks taking a long time to get their personnel on the ice. Zach Mulkowski. And off the tie-up, this will be won by the Shadow. Rearcy will get it in the offensive end. Again, I'm just using the pronunciation that Jack Hudak gave off his On the Sports podcast. And if you need to change that, he can just let me know, and I will definitely do so. Cody Oakes, he has got it himself. Oakes off the back pass. He was looking for someone in the middle of the slot. And the Shadow smartly will get some puck possession. And off the lift, a little too far for Donaldson and Joe Gibbs. Got to be mindful on this one-on-one. Pirouettes around the first man. Gibbs keeping his head up. Gains the red line, throws it in smartly. So excellent with the puck. He's starting to find his legs as this game is going on. Intercepted right to Mulkowski off the blade of his skate. And Rearcy back pass. And we go right to the Sharks. Cole Helgamo eludes the hit, keeps his head up. Hunter Keppel, crisscross, right at center ice. Backhand, Cole Helgamo finds the entry. He's got one of the tying goals, and this one missed everything. Picked up now off the wrister, not held. Circled down, it is in! The Sharks lead at 6:27, a go-ahead goal. They couldn't get it done on the 3 power play opportunities, but even strength, they get past Sommerfeld for the first time and take the lead, see if they can get a big 2 points. They got an eternity left to go in this one. So they got everybody playing the drops now, so we're back to usual here. We'll see if Zach is going to be in game shape tomorrow. I know he's not here today. This is in toward the right side. And now Arna trying to tie this one with Gagnon. And a save. And a little bit of pushing and shoving now. We know we're going to see this. You don't want to pick up the extracurricular here if you're either of these teams, because that can make you really hurt. I know the Sharks didn't convert the first 3 times, but you're really flooding for danger, give them anything more. And this, not to be disingenuous, for Jacob Gilliam, is the most important 6:09 of his season right there to conserve a big 2 points. As Mans can't win the draw, and now for Brendan Pfeiffer, but it's not out. Sent toward the net. As it'll be settled back down now for the Sharks and Siegel. Now for Kieran Carlisle. Carlisle outlet pass. Picked up for Polosha.
Goal scored by number 2, Cole Helgamo. Assisted by number 96, Brendan Pfeiffer. And number 61, Andrew Polosha.
So Polosha, Brendan Pfeiffer, Cole Helgamo has got a couple of goals, and it has given the Sharks a 5-4 lead with 5:30 left to go in this third. And it feels good to call a game that it's been so close. Everything means so much. Clint Worth tried to make a move, trying to draw a penalty. Gilliam got to get back in the crease here after sending it around the inboards. Give it right to the Sharks. See if they can cleanly get this out of their own end. Here's a spin and turn now. Here for Nolan Baldrika. Take a hit. This one gets sent back down the ice. Blown dead at 5:05. So we mentioned that both teams not going to be able to get to double digits today. We're almost double digits as far as the goal totals between the two, but you would have a hard time believing that you would even get to 10 between these two, considering what the defense you have on both sides. It's a D-zone draw after the icing. You think Zolkanitz will be able to set a screen out in front of the net with that kind of size. It just takes a lot of people to brush him away. A little more of a big rig, a little semi-truck built, but that's the kind of stuff to obscure the vision and hunt for those pucks, kind of play the power forward style. Mayhem lost it. Sharks have something off the rush. Now be careful they don't score here as this goes toward the right side because you just don't want to give up any odd man rushes, and that's what I'm thinking about a step ahead here as it is Rotundi will send this one down the ice. Here for Baker. We know what the Shadow are going to do, try to send everything to the net. If you're the Sharks, I don't want to say gatekeep and park the bus over the last 437, but you really have to make sure you have the extra guy behind you because you can't afford to get caught flat-footed on an odd-man rush. That's just what I'm thinking about in the open, trying to give you some of the play-by-play and the color part of it. Full sail changes here for the Shadow. So Redmond off the rush, big hit against Roel, put the Sharks to their feet, but this one is a little hand grenade, 1,000-pound weight, can't get out of the zone, and now the Sharks in across the blue line. We'll tap this one in off the stick of Jared Pfeiffer. Sommerfeld. This is a steal for the Sharks. Turnaround chance. That one was stopped. Good work there for Michael Redmond. Sent toward the net again. Sommerfeld's got it. Now at 4:08, you hate to say it this way, if the Shadow don't find a way to win this game, Sommerfeld would actually be in line for the loss because Sarter, his day was already done after the 4 goals, but that's just tough to be on the hook for, but he's been excellent. He's only given up 1. We get some pushing and shoving between Spencer Bowman, and that is something I've said during every broadcast. Justin McComas looks like he's getting set for the O-zone draw. We're just over 4 minutes left to play. Running there with you from the Red Rink at Lakeland Ice Arena and the Go Live Sportscast. Got a nail biter on our hands. Joe Gibbs. A lot of pressure here. You got 2 Shadow chasing. Gibbs on his backhand, and he's got to get around the traffic. He does. Gets from his own end out of the left wing, fires it right on. Rebound opportunity. Hunter Keppel couldn't pick it up. 2-on-2 the other way for the Shadow. Off the drop. Play looks good here. Gillum fights it off, and toward the right side. Sent toward the net. Deflection. Sharks pick it up. Get it out of the zone. Donaldson, what can he do? Rister, this one saved by Sommerfeld. 3:25 left to go. And you got to think you're about another minute and 20 seconds away from a net pull. And off the glass. Hunter Keppel. You really got to manage this like a playoff game now because the standings mean so much. Try to get that next win again tomorrow against the Warhawks. 3-on-2. Baker on the rush. Gillum can't hold. He's got it now. Snow Angel. And everybody rushes over. Oh my goodness. Life was flashing before my eyes there, and I'm not even on the ice. I'm just trying to see Gillum be able to hold that thing. If you're a fan of the Sharks, again, I try to call this as neutral as possible, but we all talked about how important the final 6 minutes would be after that goal that Helgamo had scored. You got to lock it down. Sommerfeld still in the cage on the other side. So Rotundi going to occupy the wing. So Kanich actually going to take this draw. Wins it to Rotundi. Here comes the slapper. Hit the netting. So it only takes 3 seconds off the score clock. Hold all tickets here, ladies and gentlemen. You give me your thoughts of John Ryanot. Who gets this next goal? Sharks to go up 6-4. Shadow to tie it at 5. Kieran Carlisle off the forehand turn. Here will be a spin for Jared Siegel, trying to kill some time behind his own net. Sharks, good punch out of the zone. See if they can get it out now. And this will be a look for Pfeiffer as one of the Sharks got to pick up their lumber. Yes, it's a 2-on-0, but you want to try to kill some time here. Here's a cross. This one gets knocked away. 2:30, but again, send it down deep. That's exactly what they need to do for Tyler Gross' squad. And you know that's what they're trying to coach as much as they can. And you got to get up from those hits and get back and try to pressure when you can as well. Shadow got it. Take this one from right to left. Here's the cross ice for Micah now. He's got one of the goals here for the Shadow, the former Shark. Riersi passes a good one right up the gut toward the right side. Dot hit the netting again. 2:05. It's going to be interesting when you get toward April, isn't it? You think about these two teams in the MIHL South and where we might be in between Fraser or Lakeland, and you might be thinking about a game that's this type of scoreline anyway, aren't you? It just has that feeling. When I said it in the rosters in the start of the Open, we went through all the names. And again, I know some of the other players and fans are also come up here and say things that I can't say, or what you think about. Scott Brand knows about it all as well. That's how you get the league built. He talked about it through his Thanksgiving message as well. After you guys shared the turkey and everything else, he talked about the possibility of expanding to 10 teams and what that might mean. The Shadows certainly seem to be one of those teams from the initial 6 to 4 from we bounced a couple of years ago that would be here and be a mainstay and be a powerhouse, just like the Muskegon Voyagers. The Sharks were trying to find their own footing until a couple of seasons ago when they've been in the finals a bunch of times where they finally won a title. There certainly looks like a team on the other end that can certainly hang a few banners of their own. And this is just the first meeting at Lakeland. Again, Sharks trying to win both games so far in this season series. These teams still got plenty of meetings left. I'm hoping to make the trip, and alongside my birthday of March 22nd on the stream at Big Boy in Fraser. I don't know if that's going to be a joint call with Frank or not, however they're going to do it, or I might just be watching, as the Sharks will be ending their season there. And you kind of wonder where that will be. And if the Sharks do get 2 points here, they could at least make sure, depending on what happens through the rest of the year. And again, I'm not trying to forecast too much, but in between the MIHL North, really the team that gets in your way is Kalkaska, right? Especially if everyone goes all the way across the board and makes the trip. But in the South, you got the Sharks, the Shadow, and the Voyagers that all beat up on each other. So when you pull out a game like this, if you can on either side, it means a heck of a lot more. Try to get home ice advantage to negate some of that travel, because I think you're going to start with the best of 3 and then a best of 5, if the rules will stay the same. But until then, we get a D-zone draw. And this is with the Sharks. Bounced up into the air. We'll see if that will be blown dead. And that'll only kills a few more seconds. And it's starting to feel like an eternity back there for Waterford, just to try to cancel out the rest of this 146. See, the Shadow had the first meeting between the Sharks won, essentially, until they gave up the 4 goals in the third period and lost 10-8. They had an 8-6 lead. But now they're at a point where this game has been back and forth. They did fight to take the lead, but the Sharks were able to steal it back. And now they're trying to fight a way to try to tie it. This is out of the blue line. A stick chop, good play. Gagnon will throw this one down the ice. Bounces off of one of the Sharks. Gillum stopping to behind his net, but it's badly turned over here, and Gillum will bail out his team close at 5-hole. Sommerfeld is gone. The cage is yawning here, and we got 90 seconds left. I'm going to send some of those jersey pictures, as I said, to Cooper Hopkins a little bit later. I have to ask him if he's listening along. What do you think of a game like this, my friend? Because it's come down to the wire. This is what we've been waiting for, to get broadcasts like this. Kept in now. On the back end, Rotundi tip. And Gillum down, gets a whistle before anything crosses. 121, keep it clean, gentlemen, on both sides. That is what you got to do here. Main thing now is win the draw for both of these squads. Send it to the net if you're the Shadow, but if you're the Sharks, win it. I don't even think they care at this point if they ice it. Again, the Shadow used their timeout. Tyler Groth's squad could use theirs, and I know what they're doing here as far as want to try to give themselves some extra rest without having to use a timeout. That is extracurricular thinking pointing toward the cranium. You got to think outside the box and give yourself some time. So Kanich can't win it, and this will be flipped toward the empty net, but blown dead at $1:14. It was long enough for that extra second to tick off the clock. No matter what happens, win, lose, or draw, it's game of the season so far. That cannot be argued in the MIHL. So Kanich try to win another draw. Center on the horn here for the Sharks. It is contested toward the right side and flipped back down off the own volition, and that is wide. I wasn't sure if that was going to be icing or was last touched. But we're down to 62 seconds. Rotundi, Gagnon, now Paulette. Zokanich in the wing with Riersi for the Shadow. This is won by Donaldson and flipped back down the ice. Good stick in the lane there for Riersi. Everybody got to check back on side. Gagnon toward the net. Shadow with it as this is on the backhand now. Rotundi toward the right side wing. Down to 38 seconds. Riersi, slapper. This one goes off the stick shaft. And body contact and the net gets destroyed toward the left side. I'm just seeing if Gilliam's going to pop up. Hopefully he didn't get his legs caught underneath him toward that battle in traffic. He's going to need a few more seconds. I don't blame him. I think everybody does. Again, this essentially gives a timeout for everybody again to take a breath. And we'll see if Gilliam can stretch everything out as he makes his way toward his feet now. Ian Morton would be the backup, but you'd hate to take him out at 32 seconds left. Timeout, Sharks. And then I wonder if they're going to make sure to give Gilliam just another breather here after that net collision. The Zebras are coming over now to make sure that he's okay. And so is Spencer Bowman. Well, that's where all the attention needs to be right now. Even so, in a 5-4 lead for the Sharks, as he is gingerly making his way toward the bench. I don't know if he's trying to meet as far as a timeout here per usual, or if they need to make a goaltending switch. I don't want to say that lightly as he's grabbing some of that Gatorade. So you got Nick Redmond back there as the assistant coach alongside Rule for the Sharks. It looks like Gilliam's okay here, but now we just got to get this 32.4 done either way. Kieran Carlisle off the forehand turn. This goes toward the Shadow. Mayam toward the net, close the 5-hole. Don't know if that one's going to hurt or not, but at 25.2, we get another stoppage. It's been a one-goal game for a while as it's been gone back and forth. Cole Helgamo with the latest couple. Trying to get this all done and over with here. Another D-zone draw. Everybody's standing a little bit now on the Shadow part of the bench as the Sharks trying to get this puck out toward the right side. Now they're going to play a man down with a broken stick, and they flip it down the ice. This will go icing again at 9.5. Thank goodness it's not channel 955 with an extra 9 minutes left. I don't feel the voice starting to go yet, but I want to conserve those cough drops. Right side dot again. This is for all the marbles, essentially. Off the tie-up. Try to kill as much time as you can. Send it toward the net. Gagnon. He's got his head down in disgust. He went for the roof. It was the right shot. 6.3. He went for a straight snipe and got denied, but that was a good-looking shot. 5.8. We'll see if they put more time back on the clock. I don't mean to sound all tense here, but that's just kind of the way it's been over this last couple of minutes. The sand in the hourglass doesn't seem to want to go. Shadow want more time. I think they might win that. Should go back to 6.5. We're all looking on here alongside the red ring. Big 2 points on the line for both of these MIHL South foes in this makeup game, then to go into Saturday when they got a back-to-back. Off the tie-up, down to 4. This is in the corner now. Down to 2. The Waterford Sharks win 5-4. They take a big 2 points against the Shadow and do it again. 10-8 on the road, 5-4 at Lakeland Ice Arena on the red ring. It's a big 2 points. They improved to 6-1. The Shadow fall to 4-3, and the margins were that close. What that means now is an extra 2 points in the standings, and we'll be back on the air with you tomorrow about 6:30 Eastern against the Detroit Warhawks. They get that win again. That also puts them in pace ahead of the Voyagers as well for the top seed and the MIHL South. They salute their fans. What a wonderful hockey game this was, ladies and gentlemen. 5-4 your final. Sharks do it again to the Shadow, this time at home, win 5-4. We'll see you tomorrow against the Warhawks. Peace.